Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Paul and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
BallChat.
Greetings, football lovers. Welcome to BCN Sports BallChat Weekly, the only football show that's kicking off at 5 p.m. on Sunday. Junior, what go on? My name is Benton. What go on, Junior?
Well, I'm good. We have a lot to cover. I'm good.
All right, we have a lot to cover in 1 hour. Big up to all the listeners. And I want to say a huge thank you for those who subscribe and for those who join the family. Welcome to the BCN Sports.
We are 2 away from 500.
I thought we were already at 500.
We're getting there. We're 2 subscribers away from 500.
Yo, all right.
Granted. No. It's celebration time.
What's going on here with OBS? OBS Studio reconnection successful.
But we're back up, so we're good.
Yo, not today, no. Not today, OBS.
Not on our 500 subscriber show.
Not today. All right, let's get to it. Before we get to the actual show itself, again, support jamaica.gov.jm if you want to contribute to the Hurricane Melissa's relief effort on the island. You know, support Jamaica. Support jamaica.gov.jm. It's in the bottom right-hand corner, right over there. You can see it. See the link. All right, on today's show, we have EPL Roundup, Milan Derby. I don't know if the game is worth discussing. EPL Roundup, Milan Derby, Jamaican Football Report, Rudolph Speed is the man in charge, and Reggae Girls games coming up, and other football news. So Junior, Ballers and Bugs, we have to set them on. I need to get the comments up. But let's start with the London Derby. Junior, Tottenham suffered a massive defeat today, 4-1. Arsenal, 4-1 victors over Tottenham. Thoughts on the game? We did a watch along earlier, but thoughts on the game, family. Eberiche Eze with a hat trick.
Look, and I'm not trying to be funny or facetious or whatever the fancy word is, but Arsenal, if not know when, and I know we still have 2/3 of the season to go, right? But they are extremely impressive. Granted, Tottenham were down 10 outfield players, or 10 first squad players. So Thomas Frank had to play.
Down? What do you mean down 10 outfield players? What do you mean?
Yeah, they're on the injured list.
Man,
they have 10 players on the shelf.
Don't come here with that, brethren.
And
who are these players? Please highlight them.
For the record, I am not making an excuse for Tottenham, right? But they are down. James Madison for sure. Let me pull it up right now.
Yeah, Madison, Solanke, Kulusevski,
Ben Davis, Radu Dragozin, Kototaki, Dejan Kulusevski, Archie Gray, and Yves Bissouma, all out.
Bissouma is not part of the plans of coach. What name?
While that is true, with all these injuries, he could have been an emergency option. But
yeah, but he needs to be in the squad to be an emergency option. The coach says he's not part of his plans.
That's beside the point. So I'm not making an excuse for Tottenham. I am actually praising Arsenal, but it has to be said, Tottenham has a long injury list. They do. But it wouldn't make a difference. That Arsenal side and ball of the week, Marino, starting in place of Victor Gyökeres. I know Eze got the hat trick, and Eze baller, big performance. But I like what Marino did today. I like the dynamic that he offered to Arsenal. His link-up play was beautiful. Trossard's goal was sublime. and then the Eze goal, but the first one was just. Look, Arsenal is a big side, and they are playing like it right now. And let's see if they can continue.
Ball of the week to Arsenal Football Club. You said if not know when. I asked the same question. The Arsenal fan said May 2026, rightfully so. That's when the Premier League concludes. So you don't win the Premier League, no, as we've often said. But bottom line is that, you can only build to win. So when the culmination in May 2026, and what Arsenal is doing, they're doing those building that blocks now. Other teams like Liverpool, Man City, well, Liverpool is not in the title race, so we can't discuss them. Other teams like Chelsea, Man City that are not building. Chelsea might be claiming that they're building. Arsenal has been the pedigree in the Premier League so far. And Eberechi Eze has been absolutely outstanding. A hat-trick of goals today for him. His first hat-trick for Arsenal, and only the fourth hat-trick in the history of this North London Derby. The last one dates all the way back to 1978. And we rate Eberechi Eze, right? So we know he's a baller. But the ability to kick with both feet, it's absolutely amazing. And not a lot of footballers that are big ballers nowadays have that ability. You don't see a lot of these big ballers that are two-footed. And Eberechi is one of them that is, So all you young players out there who wants to play football professionally, learn how to use both feet. Eberechi probably should have had about 5 goals today. 5 goals.
Yeah.
If there are comments coming through, I can't get them up on the screen just as yet.
That's all right. What I said about we'll highlight them.
But so before we move away from the game, ball of the week to Eberechi Eze. You gave a baller to Marino also. Any other takeaway for Thomas Frank? Do you worry? Is there any concern for Thomas Frank? Part of the Tottenham fan base is that they're not happy with him. It's a London Derby, not London Derby. Any concerns for him?
No, and bug of the week to the and I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. Bug of the week to the normal media or the standard media or the traditional media, because the part of this rhetoric of the Tottenham fans being angry is being shifted and peddled by the media. And I know some Tottenham fans personally who are disappointed that they lost, but real Tottenham football fans will know that they lost to the better team today. And they didn't provide their best punch. We'll try to fight again tomorrow. So to answer your question, I don't think Thomas Frank is really on a hot seat. And it's so ironic, and that's why I'm talking about the standard media or the traditional media. Remember, this is the Tottenham that they start so hot. Everybody, oh my God, Thomas Frank coaching them, blah, 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 blah. And now they kind of cool off a little bit, and now it's like the world is falling around them. The way how football is being presented now, and I get it. I get the need to build your fan base. I get the need to build support. But it's time for the American media to start treating the fans that watch the game like they have sense. Not all games are do or die. It's a whole season. Because right now, Arsenal is flying high, and we don't know. It might just change in a couple of weeks. So, people, relax. But Arsenal right now look damn good. Damn good.
And I take offense when anyone, including you or me, anyone who castigate or target traditional media, especially people who are on YouTube, who are essentially part of the media. Who know media, we're not beat media about.
We are new media,
sir. The so-called traditional or mainstream media, Nando, Uno can do it. Uno leave media alone, just like how Uno is part of the media. Uno bring in our own coverage and reflect on the temperament and the sentiments. Now leave the traditional media alone.
Okay, so since I get it that you are defending the new media, are you taking that angle?
It's part of the media coverage.
Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead, sir.
Do you agree with what I just said?
No, I don't. I don't remember what you just said. I cannot recall what you just said.
You're so media trained, sir.
Cannot recall. All right. Regarding Thomas Frank, my 2 cents on Thomas Frank is that, all right, yes, it's premature. 6 months, 4 months. He said post-match we're only 4 months in this tenure. When a manager I bring up say I have 4 months and I'm tenure, that means I'm gonna look some sort of understanding. And it might look basically friend and essentially want the fan base to understand. And there's some accuracy with it. 4 months into his tenure. Yes, definitely that's a factual statement. The fundamental issue that Tottenham fans will probably have, some of them will have, is that you go to a derby and you play defensive. You set up defensively, essentially with a back five, and you still got bludgeoned with this back five in the first half. So what, you didn't plan to score any goals? So that was the thing. There was no creative element. Xavi Simons was put on at halftime. When a coach is making a sub at halftime, it's telling me that the coach is basically saying, yeah, my tactics was crap. You can't really go in a gunfight, go sit down and watch other people and hope to not die. You have to be able to score goals. Big up to Richarlison. Ball of the week, he scored a worldie. David Area probably won't want to watch that one, but Richarlison, big up yourself. That was a worldie from half line, pretty much. All right, so 4-1, continuing our EPL roundup, family. I love the energy, Bridget. I love the energy. So you get 500 subscribers and it's new level of sort of interaction.
Big up BM. BM says, greetings, BallChat. People want to celebrate. Hey, if you know English, if you ever watch English football or just English sports, this is not my dance. This is the English dance, the British people dance. I don't know what the hell this dance is. You know what this dance is meant at?
I have no idea, Junior, but since it's English, you know what? I'll leave it alone.
And it's only white people. I never see a black man or an Indian do this dance on TV. Just white people. Then.
Those are the views of Junior, not BC.
Those are the views of everybody with eyes that watch football on TV.
Continuing our EPL roundup, Liverpool suffered a disgraceful 3-0 defeat to Forest. Junior, I don't know, man. Liverpool is in crisis. They are in absolute crisis. Virgil van Dijk spoke at length at the post-match press conference. He said they need to get back to basics. They said he's basically, to paraphrase, there's a lot of problems or pressure, a lot of criticism of Coach Slot, but some of it just comes down to them. They're not winning challenges. They're not winning duels. Talk to me about Liverpool and what's going on, the crisis that Liverpool, 6 defeats in their last 7 football league games.
All right, this one is a little bit different. And I know people always say that Junior bad mind Liverpool and blah, blah, blah. But there's some context needed around this one. Arne Slot, as a football manager, I don't think he did anything wrong in this game. I don't think he did anything wrong in any of the games that Liverpool has lost. What I mean by that is, we sit down and we just talked about Tottenham losing to Arsenal, and we can clearly point to a tactical mistake by Thomas Frank. Right? We can clearly point to that.
Thomas Frank, to that. Yes.
He played a back 5-4-1, and this is where he messed up. Arne Slot did not make a tactical mistake. So we cannot quarrel with Arne Slot, the coach. However, Arne Slot, the manager, is getting exposed. And what is the role of a manager? And this is something that I say all the time. And coaches out there that have coached in any sport, you are only, your practice, your training and practice is responsible for majority of all the games. But what a coach does, he affects certain parts of the game. Depending on the game that you are playing, there are certain parts of the game that a coach shows his value. In our sport of football, aka soccer, a coach's value is determined in the first 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes of the first half, the first 5 minutes of the second half, and the last 5 minutes of the game. After that, the coach has no other value in terms of a manager, other than the substitution pattern, of course. Liverpool came out the second half flatter than they started the first game. That is a death nail for Arne Slot, as far as I'm concerned. Now, it is difficult for Arne Slot to change right now. I would have more ratings for Arne Slot, me, and these are the views of Junior and nobody else. I will have more ratings for Arne Slot if he comes out and says, I need to change the way I manage. Because it goes against the traditional coaches' philosophy and coaches' mentality. Coaches are A-type personalities. They believe that they can walk on water. They don't do any wrong. That's why they are at the level where they are. The problem now becomes when they start messing up and don't realize that they're out of their depth. A la Helm Grimson, a la Steve McLaren, a la Ten Hag, etc.
Yeah,
and the list goes on.
Coaches here. We're talking about
but Arne Slot is starting to trend into that bracket.
He's a successful coach. Don't bring up these bum
That
coaches.
is the problem. No, that is the problem. Because coming up to now, over the last, before the last 6 games, Arne Slot would have been regarded as a successful coach. I'm sorry, Benson. No, he's not. Arne Slot right now is, for me, is an unproven coach that is now in the big leagues and is getting found out. It's the same thing happened to Enzo Maresca last year, when Maresca had to learn after that dumb press conference that Chelsea went to bed. Notice Maresca changed this year. It is not the same Maresca from last year. This is Arne Slot's moment. And in my opinion, nobody else's opinion but mine. If I was Arne Slot, the Liverpool leadership, I'll cut them off the team right now. Right now. I would send a message next game. Virgil, you don't start. Have a seat. Mohamed Salah, you don't start. Have a seat. Sit down. Because he needs to regain the reins of this team. The fact that Virgil is the one stepping out and running his mouth when you are in crisis mode, I don't care if Virgil is the captain. The coach needs to stand up and take the arrows. Again, we know we're talking about big sides.
Junior, he did say it's his fault, as in the coach. He met the press and he spoke at length, along with Virgil van Dijk, the two leaders over Anfield, both spoke at length. What more do you want from the slot machine?
Look, what is done is done. I don't care about anything that is said. I only care about the next game. And let me see a reaction. A reaction that should have happened way before. I think it's too far gone. Now, they can rewrite the ship and settle down and change them fortune, and we'll come back and say, Junior, you were wrong. You know nothing about Liverpool. Blah, 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 blah. The start of the season, when Semenyo did a run through Liverpool, but Liverpool still found a way to win. I sat here on this show and said, they're winning. They are champions until beaten, but something don't look right with this Liverpool team. I said it from day one. And I looked on this show and I said, since we are at 500 subscribers now, I said on this show, when it happens, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, I told you so. Because what we are seeing right now is Liverpool offense now just sputtering a little bit, and the defense cannot hold up, which is a problem from day one. And for me, I'm going to say it again. Arne Slot had his Enzo Maresca moment when he stupidly, after Manchester United beat them, in a rivalry game, came out and said, well, you know, the team came and they want to bunker down and play long ball and they don't want to play football. That is where Liverpool fell in this trap. And let's see if they can come out of it.
Big up to all the subscribers who are listening online, and if you're watching back BCN Sports Ball Chat Weekly anytime this week, please do not unsubscribe, especially Liverpool fans. Do not unsubscribe, please. Stay with us. Stay with us. All right. Regarding slot, you know what? If we go back and predict last year, I did say that I thought that Liverpool would have fell off last year.
Yeah, he did.
Leading into the season. He went out and he won the Premier League. So these things that are occurring this year, I expected it last year. I saw a new coach coming into the league, have to get comfortable with the players. Players have to get blended or adapted to his system. But subsequently, they went out and won the Premier League. Great achievement. Didn't see that one coming. No, he's in a crisis mode. And this is where Arne Slot, the slot machine has to fix it. I think fundamentally for Liverpool, get back to basic defensively. You've got Alisson back, and now you need to defend better. It doesn't matter about scoring 550 goals next time. Defend. Play a game and don't concede a goal. I think that, you know what, forget play a game. Forget play a game and don't concede a goal. Play a half. Play the first half of a game and don't concede a goal. I think that should be the first objective of Slot and his coaching staff. Whether it's PSV, whether it's West Ham this coming weekend in the English Premier League, the first objective is to defensively. Curtis Jones, Gravin Birch, Mohamed Salah, Szoboszlai, all these midfielders who want to turn fancy ballers and these right wingers who want to turn creative geniuses have to commit to the task of defend, because you're light in the defensive department, i.e. defensive players. You didn't sign any, or you signed one, Giorgio Leone, who's out. Kirkish is not ready for prime time. You have to get a team effort on board. Every man, every person have to put in and commit to defend. I need to see Liverpool midfielders flying around defensively. And when the centre-backs get beaten, I need to see coverage from other players dropping back to help. There has to be a team effort. And this is where Slot cannot talk about taking the blame himself. He has to light a fire. Tell Alexander Isak, sit down. Don't start another game. Hugo Ekitike needs to be starting down the middle. Period. Point blank. I'm not in any long talking with Liverpool. Good luck to them. Good luck to them.
You warned the Liverpool fans not subscribe because of what I said? You went on that direction?
Well, I think every rational Liverpool fan will have the similar frame of mind. Like, let's get back to bases. Let's focus on defending first. And I don't know if Ibrahim Konate is the problem, bro. I saw he took off Konate yesterday and put on Hugo Ekitike. It's almost like you just throw a bunch of offensive players on up top and say, you know what, I'm gonna go figure it out.
Go figure it out, yeah.
You know, come on. All right, other EPL score. Let's get to our EPL roundup. Pep Guardiola wasn't happy, Junior. He was pissed off at the conclusion of the game. They suffered a 2-1 defeat to Newcastle. He said pretty much, to paraphrase, he pretty much says, these sort of things happen, i.e. happen to his team. It's these bad calls. He felt like they should have got a penalty regarding, was it Dan Burn or one of the Shearer's tackle on Phil Foden after the shot was taken, and he felt like the goal was an offside. Junior, talk to me about Man City. They missed a golden opportunity yesterday to put pressure on Arsenal.
I don't know golden opportunity to put pressure on Arsenal. That's a stretch. But Pep has a point. And Pep is the master. Pep knows football, and he's not. Of course, Pep is a generational great coach. So he's playing towards his future games. And there are going to be games in the future when a questionable call goes in the Man City favor. We're going to point to this game and say, that was when Pep worked the system. Apart from that, though, Newcastle has played them after Park, but credit to Eddie Howe and Newcastle for coming out of the international break ready to play. And this offside rule, because Eze goal could have been offside as well, even though Tottenham don't really have much of a leg for complain about with that. But PGMOL, they have a problem. And
you know,
with that,
but I have to go back and watch Eze goal. Which one?
the first one. The one when he collected the ball right at the penalty spot and kick it. There were 3 Arsenal players in the offside position, and
Them interfere player.
exactly, the VAR said that they weren't deemed are
Yeah,
seen
they
to
didn't
have
interfere
interference.
with Vicario's job.
Right. So it is what it is.
Sky Sports reported that Guardiola went into the referee's room at St. James Park after the game and pushed on the issue. Will Pep be getting a fine, Junior?
Of course. I'll find out in clot. If I beat it. Hey, you know what? You know what? And look at me. And as we celebrate 500 subscribers, look at me. His wife is going to be angry with that money coming out the account because she's not getting half anymore. So, but he's going to get a sig. They're going to send a message to Pep Guardiola. I think
you want Man City carry the league to court.
Nah, they don't have enough money for that. They just spent all the money trying to dodge the 100 and whatever fines.
You're still on this thing, Bridget. The man have won 4 Premier League titles in a row on the draw, and it was interrupted by Liverpool last year. All right, but regarding Man City, one of the overarching questions that came out of the game, you blasted the traditional media, but we are media. But these questions have to be asked. I mean, if Erling Haaland does not score, is there someone in this Man City team that will score? Ruben Diaz scored yesterday and they're attacking. Is there someone in this Man City team that you can look to as a threat? If Erling Haaland goes into a bad patch. Because we cannot find your Egyptian player you cannot find your Egyptian player from the season start.
Yeah, but if you're talking about be the tip of the spear, no. But that is why Erling Haaland is regarded as because you know what? Let me rephrase it this way. In a team that has Erling Haaland, if there is a secondary option, then Erling Haaland should not be regarded as the best striker in the world, or should not be in a conversation. Case in point, if Kylian Mbappe goes off the boil, Real Madrid don't have anybody them can call on to take up Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappe's slack. So I think that argument is too low of a hanging fruit. Man City, they have the quality to win the Premier League. However, their Achilles heel has always been they can only win in ideal or perfect situations. If things go off the boil a little bit, that team traditionally, regardless of who or which iteration of the squad there is that is playing, that team always falter with their playing style. It has to be perfect. If you are able to disrupt their style of play, you can slow Man City down.
And they haven't disagree about perfect style of play, but that debate is for another day. We'll see if that debate for another day. Chelsea 2-0, running through the scores from this weekend. Chelsea 2-0 over Burnley. 2-2 between West Ham and Bournemouth. West Ham let the swap drop. Almost had their first victory. They led 2-0 in that game. Brighton hove 2-1 over Brentford. Fulham 1-0 over Fulham over Sunderland. Liverpool, of course, suffered a 3-0 defeat to Forest. Forest defeated Liverpool 3-0. Wolves fell to Crystal Palace 2-0. Newcastle 2-1. Man City leads. Aston Villa 2-2.
Well, Leeds lost to Aston Villa 2-1.
Yes, Aston. Yeah, what is this? Because I'm like, what is going on here? Sorry, type on this one. Leeds suffered a defeat to Aston Villa 2-1. Blame Manchester United and Arsenal 4-1 over Tottenham. Manchester United will play tomorrow to round out the round against Everton. Table, the standing as we speak. Arsenal is at the summit, 29 points. Wolves sitting at the base on 2 points. Wolverhampton. That Nottingham Forest victory, Junior. Hey, they're out of the relegation zone.
And you know, Sean Dyche is an a-hole. We're now over 5. We're not over 500 subscribers. We have to be careful with the language that we're saying because YouTube will now sniff us and penalize us for certain things. So I have to be careful with that. I have to talk about that. But Sean, as bad as Sean Dyche is as a person, or personality-wise, he's a very good coach. I don't think Sean Dyche is Sean Dyche to me is a modern version of David Moyes, of Everton's David Moyes. He's a modern version of David Moyes, in my opinion. And he has to get credit because he knows how to win these games. Not even win. Win is a bad word. He knows how to get a positive results in games that they are not expected to do well in. He's good at that.
Yeah, Sean Dyche is definitely very successful. Running out the top 4 in the EPL, Arsenal 29 points, Chelsea 23, Man City 22, Aston Villa round out the top 4 sitting on 21 points. Again, Man United and Everton round out the round tomorrow. That's it for the EPL roundup, family. Any final thoughts or any notes, any final comments regarding this EPL recap before
Arsenal, just finish the job. It's still early. We're still a third of the way through the season, or just a little bit over a third. We'll finish the job. Go out there, be champions elect. Do it. I want to see that. And I think the Premier League will be good for that. You're a third of the way here, officially a third of the way. You have 38 games in the season, so you're 1/3 of the season done. Go and be the best team in the league.
Seems like you're willing Arsenal to victory. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. Let's see. Good luck to the Gunners. I mean, a lot of football. I mean, there will be without Gabriel, who's out for 2 months, I think, is the estimated time according to Mikel Arteta. So we'll get to that, see how they go about it, All right. Notable game this weekend, Milan Derby. Junior, there was a time when I used to be very excited about the Milan Derby. The game ended 1-0 to Milan. Your thoughts on this football game? This game's a little bit regular from recent time. Goal scored by Captain America. Sorry, before the American.
And that's it. And that's
the American
right.
fans them unsubscribe.
Exactly. For the American fans, in a part of the season when MLS playoffs are going on, so the American fans are a little bit in tune with the football world. It's great for them to hear that Captain America doing well. That's it. It was such a boring game.
and all right, so Christian is the coach, Kiva coach of Inter Milan. Max Allegri, coach of AC Milan. Christian did a good job. Kiva trying to nullify those white players of AC Milan, the Rafael Leao and the Christian Pulisic. But you almost saw this thing like it was inevitable because at the end of the day, Inter Milan played such a high line, and Christian Pulisic and Rafael Leao. Especially Pulisic, Rafael Leao kind of lazy sometimes. They don't need a lot of opportunities. It was a rebound goal. And it's also this means like no understanding because Inter Milan is kind of like, falling off the boil a little bit?
Yeah. Long time Inter Milan has not been the same since that PSG Champions League final. I don't think they have recovered as yet. I don't think they have recovered as yet.
So with this victory, AC Milan sits in second on 25 points in the Scudetto. Roma, Roma is leading the Scudetto. Napoli in third with 25 points. Inter Milan rounds out the top four with 24 points. I don't know. I mean, I guess just looking at the table, I'm impressed with Roma. But I don't know what else to say about the Scudetto or the Serie A.
In a negative kind of way, parity has been restored in Italy. And I think teams now are trying to position themselves to say who can take the lead in Italy. Because we know financially what they have gone through, and they are rebuilding their brand. And this is a time for a new Italian king to rise. So will it be Roma? Because Roma has a bunch of unproven players, in terms of winning Italian Scudetto. So let's see. But AC Milan, watch out. If it's one thing about Massimo Allegri, he knows how to win, especially the Scudetto. So we'd for a good run in Italy.
Yeah. All right, stepping away from the Scudetto, BallChat Weekly recap, the week that was, Junior. We were at the international break. Any final thoughts on things? We're going to get to Jamaican football report here in a second, but just a general thoughts on the FIFA World Cup. 42 teams have made it. Of course, shouts out to Haiti and Curacao and Panama for qualifying from CONCACAF. Your thoughts on final takeaway from the international break?
What's my final takeaway? And this is something that I don't think is going to be highlighted, but since BCN Sports celebrating 500 subscribers is not traditional media except Benton. I am not traditional media. I'm going to bring up something that is going to go unsaid. Look for an influx of players changing nationality over the next couple of weeks. I think Haiti has a player now that they were trying to recruit, but ever since they got to the World Cup, I'm ready to go play for Haiti now.
But why would you though? Why would you take a player now who didn't show up in the trenches when the going was rough? And whose place will he take?
That is the conversation that I think traditional media is going to try to not to have. And fun and joke aside, but come out traditional media argument. FIFA is going to encourage this because when FIFA extends the World Cup, they want more eyes to the World Cup. That's why they're extending the World Cup. And if you can get a better player on some of these teams through this non-traditional or non-unorthodox method, FIFA is going to encourage it because it's going to make the game better. It's going to make people want to watch the games more. So look out for that. Now, from a Haitian perspective, he shouldn't come to the team. And from all of these teams' perspectives, if we fight and cut our two teeth with some players that are not playing in the quote-unquote big leagues, and they fight their way to go to the World Cup, why would I take them off now and put on a player that has already made it and is making money? Why would I take that opportunity from my young player that is now getting this one opportunity to get his face on the big stage after putting in this work? We saw Jamaica did that. The team that went to the World Cup, actually, that starting level at the World Cup, how much of them even played in the World Cup qualifiers? So I don't like it. I am completely against it. So Mason Greenwood stand in a yard.
Well, he might be going off and stand in a yard. Where else will he be going? All right, 42 teams have qualified for the FIFA World Cup so far, 42 or 48 teams. Of course, the co-hosts, Mexico, Canada, and USA. From Australia, from the Asian group, you have Australia, Iran, Japan, Jordan, Korea Republic, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Uzbekistan. From Africa, CAF, Algeria, Cape Verde, or Cabo Verde in Portuguese, Cote d'Ivoire, Egypt, Ghana, Morocco, Senegal, South Africa, Tunisia. From CONCACAF, no reggae boys. From CONCACAF, no reggae boys. Jata.
As yet.
Curacao, Haiti, Panama. From CONMEBOL, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Uruguay. From Oceanic, New Zealand. From UEFA, Austria, Belgium, Croatia, England, France, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, Scotland, Spain, Switzerland. All right, perfect segue to the reggae boys. Junior, Rudolph Speed, now step into the Oddballers report. Rudolph Speed will be the man to try and take the reggae boys to the World Cup. He was named interim coach in a press release by the JFF. His effective date will be from December 15th.
Yeah.
To March 31st, 2026. Junior, I think the JFF, you like this move? You don't like the move? What's your thoughts on this one?
I'm going to give a response as an oblivious Jamaican fan. I just wake up out of amnesia. I have no idea what has gone on in the last almost 30 years, in the last 27 years. So you just wake me up and tell me Jamaica is in the Intercontinental Playoffs. They had a coach. He quit the job after failing to automatically qualify, and now Jamaica is trying to play in the Intercontinental Playoffs, and they're going to play against New Caledonia, and if they get past New Caledonia, they're going to play against Congo, who defeated Cameroon and Nigeria to get where they are right now. And my first thing will be, so wait, no Cameroon and Nigeria in the World Cup? No. Damn, time has changed. All right. Who going to coach a team? We don't know. But more likely they're saying one of the assistant coaches is going to coach a team. Now you're asking me if I'm cool with that? I'm cool with that. Because I need continuity. It is too late in the game to change philosophy, to change direction, to change identities. Too late. You're not going to change in the next 4 months something that you took the last 4 years to build towards. That's the junior with amnesia. The junior without amnesia, hell no. This is the dumbest decision ever. Is JFF being JFF? We thought JFF coming out of the financial, what we call it? Coming out of the financial
management, oversight, monitoring.
Coming out of that, you would think they would say, you know what? Let's not do the dumb stuff that got us where we are right now. Oh, no. No. We haven't learned our lesson. Big up to Craig Butler. Craig Butler has been on a big promotion campaign, or a big campaign highlighting the history of possible conflict of interest plaguing the Jamaica Football Federation. And he has actually chronicled it out very well, very articulate the way he do it. You can feel his energy coming out of the phone when you watch it. So big up Craig Butler, not being traditional media and doing what he's doing. So I'm not going to go down that road. The road I'm going to go down, though, is with the history of this man, where he's coming from, what he was doing before.
Which man are you talking about?
Mr. Rudolph Speed.
Does the
Coach
man
Speed.
have a name?
Coach Speed.
Yeah.
With Coach Speed's history in the JFF, for him to be appointed by the technical committee who is responsible for appointing the head coaches of Jamaica. The technical committee did that, right? For the technical committee to, somewhere along the line, the technical committee must have signed off on this decision to recommend Rudolph Speed to the Jamaican Football Federation. For that to happen is just a terrible look. It's just a terrible look. And I'm not saying Rudolph Speed cannot coach. I'm not saying that he doesn't have the credentials. Some people think Miguel Coley does. In my opinion, of all the coaches on the island right now, what have you done for me lately, world? Rudolph Speed is the most qualified person for the position right now. He is. However, the way he attained the job, it's not right. It's not right.
Well, you said a lot of things here. All right, my 2 cents, or 5 cents, or 10 cents, or whatever, on this thing. And big up to all the people on the live. Smash the like button. Remember to subscribe. Junior, go through some of the comments if you want to highlight them. They're running up, but I can't. Any comments you want to highlight, please.
BM says that it's not like Jamaica is going to the World Cup. Where else can Greenwood go? He'll be watching the World Cup from home like us. So let's not fool ourselves. Jamaica is going nowhere. In Jamaica, be incompetent and fail in your position and you get rewarded. It's not a surprise. Jamaica keeps failing in football. Next 4 years, we'll be having a conversation about another failed Reggae Boys World Cup campaign. The JFF won't change. They will continue to be inept and corrupt.
Yeah, powerful statement from the fans, from BM. Powerful statement from listeners all over. People are very upset with the whole World Cup qualifier campaign because, and for context, it's very important. There's some essential information that we missed out, that I left off here. Rudolph Speed is was the interim head coach of the Reggae Boys. He was the technical advisor or consultant to coach Steve McLaren. So he was part of the coaching staff that failed to automatically qualify for the group. So with that backdrop, does Rudolph Speed take any responsibility for the failure to automatically qualify? Because he's part of that coaching staff that failed to qualify. Secondly, Rudolph Speed has been heavily involved with the selecting of the squad, being part of the technical committee. So he's been selecting players, being the technical committee chair. So we don't have a midfield. Rene Simoes, apparently former Reggae Boys, legendary coach Rene Simoes, who got the Reggae Boys to the 1998 World Cup, said that. And Junior chronicled that, and BCN's chronicled this on the headlines. I think it was Thursday's headlines. Rene Simoes said that basically we're playing without the brain of a team. We're playing out without the brain, i.e. the midfield. We don't have a midfield. No, with Rudolph Speed being the technical advisor to Steve McLaren of a team that don't have a brain, according to the words of Rene Simoes, i.e. a midfield. Because Steve McLaren has said that they search and they can't find a midfielder. And now here's Rudolph Speed, who was a part of that staff. Is he gonna do anything different? Like, how do you go with this decision? That's the thing I can't make heads or tail about.
I think the JFF.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the JFF will best serve. Take the money and commit to developing long-term football. Take this money, this investment about try run go 2026 World Cup and build something more sustainable and long-term. Start from scratch and build something more long-term. The DNA, another thing, I saw a video from Oral Tracy saying that he spoke to Coach Rene Simoes. Big up to Oral Tracy, big sports commentator down in Jamaica. And according to Oral Tracy, in a conversation via text with Rene Simoes says the Jamaican team DNA needs to be Jamaican players and supplement with European or foreign legacy players. Now, Rudolph Speed, the technical advisor and part of the coaching staff of Steve McLaren team, DNA, the team that just failed to automatically qualify for the World Cup, the DNA of that team wasn't local based. The DNA of that team, the core of that team, was centered around recruiting English-born legacy players. And that Rene Simoes, legendary coach, qualified for the Reggae Boys for the 98, he finds very big problem in that. Very big problem in that. So, stability is the positive side of things. They want to maintain stability. But, I mean, if you have a bug side and you try to maintain the stability of the bug side, it's still going to be a bug side. It's just going to be a stable bug side. So maintaining stability, I don't understand how this translates to improvements. So, no, but to be fair to Rudolph Speed, he's a very good coach who has been successful in the Jamaican Premier League and in the Caribbean Cup. He's won with Cavalier, both on the national level, and he's won in the regional competition. So he's a good coach. But that good coach, part of it took years for him to build that Cavalier team into something that is very competitive and successful now. Rudolph Speed, I want to know, November, so March, 4 months. Rudolph Speed are going to roll out one big side that can beat New Caledonia. And if they beat New Caledonia, then they're going to play DR Congo. Come on.
But and 100% accurate. And the problem is this, as we were talking in the group chat with Come On, and I was under the impression that there would be at least one more international window before. It looked like FIFA is not opening another international window before.
Then night, brother, World Cup will come up. Why?
Right. So then you can't change the squad. You have to use the same squad. You can't bring in any new player now. You're bringing a new player right now. It is high risk, high reward. Because, granted, no, Jamaica has a very good chance of qualifying for the World Cup. And I'm going to tell you why. This team plays, because of their DNA not being local based, they're going to play good at the Mexican field, because the Mexico field is going to be pristine. It's going to be good football field, good football condition. The squad as currently configured is going to play well. I'm telling you this right now. They're going to play well in the Intercontinental. I think it will be cruel for Congo not to make it to the World Cup. However, I think Jamaica are going to get them a very good game. I think
are you picking Jamaica to get past Congo? Because you're talking about cruel for Congo.
New Caledonia?
DR Congo. So what you do? You pick Jamaica to qualify over DR Congo. Based on what you have seen. Because there's a lot of times, a lot of things can go on between now and March 31st. Providing that Jamaica beat New Caledonia.
No, Jamaica going to beat New Caledonia. If Jamaica cannot beat New Caledonia.
Providing that Jamaica beat New Caledonia.
That is true.
Pass nobody. Because we sat here and said a soup zone. Well, I said a soup zone they were in the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. And look at them now.
Yeah, but for the context of this conversation, Jamaica is beating New Caledonia easily. For the context of this conversation, Jamaica versus Congo. Now, I saw Congo play against Cameroon and Nigeria and them knock them back, right? But we did the watch along with Congo versus Nigeria. And Wan-Bissaka, we already know what Wan-Bissaka is. Tunzabi and his partner were shaky. And if it's one thing Jamaica is bringing to that intercontinental players is, in my opinion, and as crazy as it sounds, Jamaica is going to have a World Cup caliber defense. As crazy as it sounds, Jamaica's defensive setup is World Cup caliber. So, for those who are jumping ship way off the ship and gone over the deep end, don't expect Congo to walk on and ball Jamaica off the field. Jamaica, if set up right, they will be able to defend Congo. Can they create enough to balance the game? That has always been the problem. And certain players just never play. If Jamaica start Demari Gray, they have no chance. If Jamaica start Bobby Reid, I'm big up to Bobby Reid, father, big up to Bobby Reid. He is Jamaica DNA. But Bobby Reid, with all due respect, you don't have the legs to run the way you want to run. Now, can he play in a double pivot and provide a late running midfielder? And that's how I would deploy Bobby Reid. But you need balance with Cephas on the left wing. I would start Whisper on the right, and I would find a striker. I'm telling you guys this right now. And I've been wrong so many times, but when I'm right, I normally hit the nail right on the head. 1 out of 1,000,000 times. I looked at you guys right before the Curacao game, and I said, my heart's a 3-0, but it feel like a VAR game. 97th minute, Jamaica trying to score a goal. Let's see if we get the goal of VAR. I said that because of the team that was picked. And I tell you, 1 hour before the game, you know how the game is going to go. I'm telling you right now, if they start the right team, they will have a chance against Congo.
All right, may I run through some of the comments? I mean, I really try to convince you of anything. You have been bold in your predictions. 90% of them are incorrect, but you've been bold with them. I think you actually hit 95% incorrect. So.
Yeah. BM says, World Cup caliber defense with Ethan Pinnock and Richard King with a question mark. I'm telling you. Remember Judah said it.
More if you know who play right back. I can't Lambegi said that is a World Cup caliber defense.
No, here's the problem though. Sir. I don't think Whisper and Bailey will want to play for speed. No. Rephrase that. I don't think Whisper and Bailey will be allowed to play for speed.
Okay, so that's also another thing that will, I guess we'll figure this out. We'll cross this bridge when we get there. Because
big up Horace. Horace says a team cannot play great football if they do not gel together. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, man, we 100%. Just out here. I just hope for the best with the reggae boys. We just out here, so I hope. We don't show up, I don't know, stadium, I don't know match. Say, boy, yo, we feel very confident. We just out here, so hope for the best with the reggae boys. That's blatantly what the reggae boys is, the sort of team. But you look at the DR Congo team, when you look at New Caledonia team, lowly ranked team, but they've been together, they've been in the trenches battling through Asian qualification, Oceania qualification. DR Congo, again, a big side, a lot of players across that field, but I do understand and recognize that they can go sideways sometimes, you know. And of course, the Nigerian coach who they defeated Nigeria in that CAF playoff said that DR Congo will be using, or did use voodoo. So Jamaica needs to figure out the obvious sort of situation, because if DR Congo is using voodoo, according to the Nigerian coach, then Jamaica dog them supper. You know, I mean, and again, this midfield situation, Jamaica's offense hinges on Cephas. He's been the linchpin for this team down this left side. And any team with sense, any coach with sense, who watch tape, will know that if I can nullify this side of the field, Rudolph Speed have to come with something totally new March 31st. And I guess this is probably the beauty of it for the teams, is that this is an unknown coach at this level. So it's something, there's not a lot of tape from his setup at the level. So there could be an advantage for him. But I don't know. I really don't know, Bridget. I really don't know.
Yeah, Jamaica has done some tone-deaf stuff. JFF has done some. And look, I'm big up to Horace. Horace, if you're not a subscriber as yet, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. Please, please, please. It's free, as you know, and it costs nothing. I would try to give out as good content as as possible. And we had 500 subscribers, so I continue to celebrate. But we're still trying to get a member of the JFF, current member of the JFF on. So but one thing we won't do, we won't kiss ass. So we're not begging for a friend. Sometimes, and President Ricketts has to take the blame because he's the president, but I think he gets advised by certain people. His advisors are tone deaf because the way how you push out Rudolph Speed as the coach shows that you have no idea of the pulse of Jamaica. You have no idea of the pulse of the fan base. When Rudolph Speed was appointed to the head of the technical advising team or whatever,
chairman of the technical committee,
whatever the hell you want to call it, everybody was like, "Oh, he want the head coach job." It's obvious. He wanted. That was a sentiment that was given instantly. And if you had a pulse of the people, or if you have the GFF Live, which again we would love to have the members of the GFF on.
No, but we're not that, brother. We're not.
No,
GFF man, all right. No, keep doing what to do it. But we will stay independent and talk to from sideways. We're not.
We're still celebrating the 500 subscribers.
Man, we want to come with a reason because at the end of the day, like you said,
those are the views of Benton because.
Nah, man, we're not right.
500 subscribers might be GFF members, and we don't want them to unsubscribe right now. Back down at the 500.
We're not.
But this is the thing, though.
Yes.
It was obvious the GFF Live was launched because we thought we had the World Cup in the bag. And it's obvious there was a plan in place that you were ready to roll out a whole bag of content about World Cup qualification, ladder. And all of that now gone to the wayside. If the people that running JFF Live have an ounce of sense, you have a live conversation with President Ricketts and Simon. And all Simon is there doing is facilitating the conversation. And President Ricketts, you sit down and you take the bullets from the comments. Sit down and respond to the comments them. And look, big up Simon. Why name? Simon Preston?
Yeah, big up Simon. Reggae boy.
Big up Simon.
Big up Simon.
Big up Simon Preston. You are a seasoned journalist. I know you are capable to sit down and look at some of the comments them and say, Ricketts got SYM. You just bypass that comment. Don't even acknowledge it. And you can cherry pick the positive and the negative comments them, but and be very strategic with how you do it. And let Ricketts come out there, let President Ricketts come out there and be transparent. Be that. Because when the World Cup qualification bid officially failed, you are going to need that support that you felt the last game. You are going to need that in the First Nations League game. And the only way you're going to get that is by connecting with the people. Put your damn finger upon the pulse of Jamaica and feel the pulse of Jamaica, brother. And I'm done.
Yeah, but I mean, all them things that Junior, I find you I want to commend you for making recommendations to the JFF. In fact, I have a funny feeling say you on the Jamaican Football Federation payroll, you know. Because Rona Khan, he always him turn off him camera. So we don't. No, I mean, recommendations, you've made many recommendations to them, so I don't know. Maybe you know Mr. Rick is from, But at the end of the day, we understand it's difficult to qualify for the World Cup. It's not an easy task. So I don't think many fans are sitting there saying, yo, Bridget, want body up for not qualify for the World Cup. What fans are saying, honor the squad. Develop a very good squad so you can compete. When people go out there, when the team roll out, the team's supposed to be having the heart and soul of Jamaica when they walk out to come contest. And then have some players who, really kind of embrace the badge, embrace the community, and ride with the fan base. And I think that the whole, we saw a report recently in the Athletic about Steve McLaren paying for facilities or paying for transport, all these things, Junior. It doesn't matter what Michael Ricketts says. We've heard these stories before, over and over again, regarding payment and issues and coach taking on more than they need to. Players doing and players left at this and that. Action is the most important thing. So I don't want to really hear nothing from Michael Ricketts right now.
For the record, I'm not on the JFF payroll, but I'm going to call BS. I'm going to call BS.
Wink 2 times if you're getting JFF money, Brett.
Then BCN wouldn't have to buy subscribers.
Well, look at you.
Hey, but I'm going to call BS on the Steve McLaren story, though.
Okay.
And there's semantics there.
Yes,
look,
yes. Why not?
The agent, your agent, Mr. McLaren's agent, who you're now trying to do damage control because man just took off in the late hours of the night. Yeah. The country is devastated and the man just leave the country after the hurricane devastation and just take himself gone. So guess what? Let's put it out there that you went ahead and you paid for other staff members and blah blah blah. It's called reimbursement, and you submitted the receipt and you're expecting to be fully reimbursed.
Move for yourself with that. Junior, we're talking about JFF and Jamaica about expected for fully reimbursed. We're talking about. We know how them things that work on a card at JFF.
We know that's
we don't know if it's still happening though.
No, because FIFA are watching them like a hawk.
Well, are they still watching them, Junior? They did give them the green light to proceed.
No, but it would if Steve McLaren send an official to me, so I buy 5 patty for my assistant coach and them not reimburse me yet. Right back on the arbitration.
The FIFA would have said patty that doesn't rise to the level of arbitration of monetary. But all right, by and large, we'll see what happened with the Reggae Boys. Rudolph Speed is the interim manager. It's December 15. Miguel Cooley is the man rumored or being interviewed. His agent, they're discussing, negotiating a deal for him to take on the assistant role. I think if Miguel Cooley is as advertised, I think Miguel Cooley should become the coach long term. And as you prepare for the next cycle of the World Cup. Stop, run, go to Europe, go try to find coach, brother.
Yeah.
Stop it. Some comments you want to highlight, Junior?
BM says that he did some research on the New Caledonia team. Do not be surprised if they beat Jamaica. The Reggae Boys will take them lightly and they will get the shock of their lives. He also said he heard Speed and most of the players don't get along. So basically the Reggae Boys team is a time bomb waiting to explode. God, go with the Reggae Boys in March because I can't go.
Boy, Jaja, what should have been? We should have been here right now celebrating a qualification to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Here we are. Jaja. We should be here celebrating a qualification of the FIFA World Cup, but here we are. This is it. Mike Ricketts did say this lack of automatic qualification just shows that the ball round and don't take anything in for granted, Junior.
You know what? I take back on putting Ricketts in front of the camera to be transparent. No, change my mind. What does that mean? Dude,
well,
you
it just shows that, and he did promote the JFF coaching program in the aftermath of the lack of automatic qualification. He did say coaches have improved, the game has expanded. This is why here at the JFF we have a coaching program.
Can't take it anymore.
All right. Reggae boys, we keep it locked here at BCN Sports for all things Reggae boys. Caribbean football also. We don't want to touch Dwight York at this episode. We'll get to that on our Wednesday show because Dwight York, coach of Trinidad and Tobago, is feeling a bit of heat down there in the Twin Island Republic. Dwight York say, yo, I don't listen to critics. What a man, Bashi. All right, Reggae Girls time. Reggae Girls will start their qualification. Go ahead, Junior.
You know, I think there's some other comments that I'm not seeing.
Okay, there are comments that are not coming through. Okay.
There are some other comments. So if you put in a comment and I'm not reading it, I apologize. I'm looking at the feed and there are some comments there.
Go home, head home. CONCACAF Double Championship is slated for November 2026. They will kick off the qualifiers starting this week, Saturday, November 29th, against Dominica at the Darren Sammy Stadium in St. Lucia. The Reggae Girls will play in Group B. Junior, the Group B winner will automatically qualify for this tournament. The Reggae Girls did not qualify for the last CONCACAF W Championship. Here's a chance to get it right, Junior. Of course, this is going to be a feeder for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, 2027 FIFA World Cup.
All right, so we wax lyrically about JFF's inept ability to develop and blah, 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 what they do with the men's team and the DNA, yada, 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 right? What Jamaica will do in the next World Cup, men's World Cup cycle, will be dictated by how they approach this women's World Cup cycle. The question now is, for the greater good of Jamaican women football, should they chase a third World Cup qualification or should they chase building a program? Ideally, you want it both to be the same, but in some situations, it's not the same. And I think in this situation that we're in right now, it's not going to be the same.
So, Junior, if we haven't built a program or build a strong women's football program in two successful World Cup cycles with the Reggae Girls, why do we think that's going to happen in a third World Cup cycle?
Well, so then there's no hope for Jamaican football then, because it will never change. Look, schoolgirl football is Excelsior.
Yes, Excelsior is the dominant team.
For how many years, right?
Yeah.
Can you point to one Excelsior player in the Jamaica starting 11 over the last year?
Well, Tiny Seaton did start in that team, that Xavier Gilbert team.
Yeah, that Xavier, I don't even care about that Xavier Gilbert period.
Yeah, I can. It was a Jamaica team.
I get that it was a Jamaica team, but can you point to an Excelsior? All right, let me reword it this way. Can you point to an Excelsior player that has gotten the opportunity to be a part of a main team? No, Tiny Seed, no. All right, cool. Tiny Seed, one of 20-something players. If we are going to build the program, at least have some of the youth, the high school players them over the last 3-4 years that have done well, give them a run. Failure or not, qualification or not. I don't want, and I love Kanya Plummer. Kanya Plummer was my favorite. is one of my favorite Jamaican football players of all time. She should not be in this. It should not be in the squad.
She will be there, Junior.
That's the problem. So we're going back to square one. Now, at the end of the day, for Jamaica,
And
it
Kanye
is
is only
just
28, Junior. I mean, men's footballers are still effective.
Don't do that, Benton. Don't Benton with just hit 500 subscribers. I am not joining that conversation about women. No. See it? See that? Right as we started, spam call to my cell phone. Nope. Nope. I'm not touching that one. No. Kadapoma should not play.
The group draw for the reggae girls, Jamaica, Guyana, Nicaragua, Dominica, and Antigua Barbuda. The winner of the group will automatically qualify for the CONCACAF W Championship. The 4 teams from the CONCACAF W Championship will qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2027. And 2 playoff spots. The other groups are Group A, Mexico, Puerto Rico, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenadines, U.S. Virgin Islands. Group B, Group C, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Bermuda, Grenada, Cayman Islands. Group D, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Suriname, Belize, Anguilla. Group E, Panama, Cuba, St. Kitts, Curacao, Aruba. Group F, Trinidad and Tobago, El Salvador, Honduras, Barbados. USA and Canada automatically advance to the CONCACAF W Championship as being the higher seeded teams in CONCACAF. All right. Solai Washington, baller. Kiki Van Zanten, baller. Israela Groves, baller. Jude Spence, baller. Bonisha, Khadija Bonisha, baller. I can't keep going. Big up Rebecca Spencer, my number 1 goalkeeper. No, big up yourself. She's now with Chelsea. Jodie Brown. No, Jodie Brown playing in Portugal should be taking the next step. We should see her in the squad doing well and excelling and developing her game. Is Hubert Busby the right man for this job? I don't know. But he's the man in charge. Reggae Girls this Saturday will do a watch along for this game against Dominica at this Darren Sammy Cricket Stadium. And by the way, why do I play a football match at Darren Sammy Cricket Stadium? Do
they have football fields at Dominica?
Why do I play as a ball at Darren Sammy Cricket Stadium?
Why not?
A cricket stadium. I name cricket stadium for a reason.
Sabina Park never hosts an international game.
Yeah, Bridget, move up, better. Bridget, move up. Move up. All right, wrap up all our comments. Let me see if we can highlight any comments before we go my way on.
BM says Jamaica should get through this group, but the quarterfinal is where the trouble starts. Exactly. 100%.
100%. Big up to our listeners. Time for we go my way on. Do stay tuned for DCN Sports headlines dropping in about 2 hours. The top headlines. Cristiano Ronaldo, bicycle kick general. Big up yourself. Yo, at time for...
BM says, how do you think the Reggae Girls are feeling when they see the support the boys get and they're the most successful team?
You know what? I would be upset, BM. I would be upset. And you know what? The JFF put out a press release yesterday. And in this press release, it said, I need to find it. In this press release, it said something to the effect that I want to remind you guys that even though we're down about the Reggae Boys, the Reggae Girls have a game coming up, and we want to support the Reggae Girls like how we have a passion for the boys. And what has happened is that the Jamaica Football Federation under Mike Ricketts and former Secretary of the JFF, Dennis Chung, who's now at Finska, wherever he is, has treated the Reggae Girls as second-class citizens. They have treated them as second-class citizens. And they have been the most successful of the 2 recent teams. All right? And Dennis Chung, at the time being Secretary of the JFF, said that basically women's football don't make no money. for them really make that significant commitment to it. Well, brother, if that's a sentiment of the secretary of the JFF, I envision that's a sentiment of the leadership of the JFF, Michael Ricketts and others. You have a team that are qualified for your World Cup. You have a team that is getting you World Cup money. You have a team that you can rally around and load up with Jamaican players and fans roll out, go buy jersey. You have an extra side round here so with a bag of lazy man from England. And that team that you come talk about, we need to rally around the side that these men who don't have the DNA of Jamaicans, you move up. Time to go on me hard. So, BM, it's part of the sexism of Jamaican culture. Why why the reggae girls being treated that. There are many men in Jamaican football fraternity who don't think women are supposed to play ball, much less support or invest in the reggae girls. I think that's what I go on.
Yep. I agree. I was going to say something, but I'll leave that for another day.
Yeah, I hope we didn't lose one or five out with 500 subscribers.
So no, if those subscribers who disagreed with what he just said, they can't go about it.
They can't go.
Because
well, Judah, you're kind of brave with 500, huh?
You think we're brave yet? Wait till we like 525.
Yo, thank you all for joining us. Big up to all the listeners. We do this again Wednesday, call-in show on Wednesday, so you can call and hear your grievances.
And we're going to have the phones up, and you can call in, and we're going to be officially having the phones running.
Yeah, call in on Wednesday call-in show. All right, family, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a wonderful start to your week.